Hi, everybody. Dan Illman taking a look at the feature race at Aqueduct on Sunday, December the 29th. Race number 8 is the $100,000 Bay Ridge Stakes. Let's take a peek at this field. Fillies and Mares going a demanding mile and an eighth. These are New York breds. Interesting group led by the number 5, Our Supernova. Third last time out in the grade 3 Go for Wand handicap. The source odds on David Aragona's Naira Morning Line. Stretching out in distance. We'll get to her in a bit to see if she really wants to go long, but she is in very good form right now. The speed down towards the inside is the number 1 Out of Orbit, but Timeform US believes that Out of Orbit might have to deal with some early pace pressure. Out of Orbit's the number 1. Cartwheel is the number 7. Something tells me that Out of Orbit, breaking from the inside post, fresh off a little bit of a layoff, they just have to go with her. That is her best game. I think Cartwheel would be very content if she could take up a tracking spot in second. So if I'm handicapping the pace projector, I'd probably move the 1 Chicklet ahead of the 7, and Out of Orbit I would try to make the horse to catch. Maybe the horse to beat if she runs back to her race 2 starts back. That was the Saratoga Dew, and that was a race going a mile and an eighth. It's very interesting. The trainer, Phil Serpy, very reluctant to run Out of Orbit a distance of ground around 2 turns. The Saratoga Dew is her one and only start out of 22 lifetime races in which she's gone 2 turns on dirt, and she liked it. She went gate to wire that day after getting an easy lead. I'm assuming that's what Manny Franco is going to try to do now. After that race, she went to the sidelines for a little while. She came back in the Empire Distaff with front wraps on. Don't think that was a good sign. She contested a solid pace. She backed up pretty badly. I think this recent layoff is going to do her some good. She has a bullet workout leading up to this race. She will be forwardly placed. She's also carrying a lot of weight, picking up 6 pounds off the Empire Distaff and lugging 125. The 2 horses Fight on Lucy, and Fight on Lucy is going to stretch out for the first time in her career off of a rallying third sprinting over good going. Let's take a look at that race right now. She's down towards the inside in here, and you're going to see her sort of weave her way through traffic to finish third. She's the number 6 in this video. Fight on Lucy, though, third in this race, but only with a 49 Beyer speed figure, and her Beyers are just declining. You saw her alter course back to the inside after trying to squeeze through in between. She ran okay in this race. She's obviously going to have to run a lot faster as she stretches out in company and stretches out in distance and steps up in class. Fight on Lucy, bit of a deserving long shot in this race. Held Accountable is the number 3. And if you believe a mile and an eighth is the great equalizer, well, Held Accountable is very solid at this distance. Last time out, she ran in the Empire Distaff, and she was just out sprinted in the early portion of the race. Eric Cancel gave her a nice ride. Saving ground, you're going to see an alter course now from the rail all the way to the outside. And she's just going to get up for third. She is the number 8 in this video. Green Silks on the outside. It was a good performance. She did get some pace help that day. Pace should be solid for her on Sunday. A mile and an eighth, though, might very well be key. Another one trained by Phil Serpy, working well leading up to this race. She can be closer to the pace if the pace is slow. I don't think we really have to worry about it. She's going to make one run in here because the 1 and the 7 figure to keep things honest on the front end. Lucky Move is the 4. She's an interesting new face for trainer Juan Carlos Guerrero. This horse made her first start for the Guerrero barn last time out at Parks, was a very comfortable winner as the favorite, and $25,000 starter allowance. There she is in the big white blinkers attacking on the outside, and once she makes the lead, she really pours it on this field. A 75 Beyer speed figure. She ran third behind Out of Orbit as the favorite in the Saratoga Dew Stakes at Saratoga, trying to come from off the pace in a race that was controlled on the front end. She's got a little bit of tactical speed, and maybe she's the fresh face that you want in here. Her Beyers are a little bit light, but she's in very good form. And Guerrero, when he gets them good, they tend to stay good, as we see from this formulator fact. Over the past 3 years with horses aged 3 and up, last out winners in dirt routes, 26% winners, $2.64 return on investment. We'll talk about the likely favorite. That's the number 5, Our Supernova. Third last time out in the grade 3 Go for One handicap. And really, the trip just didn't work out for her that day. The pace was just so slow. She broke really well, did Our Supernova, but they decided to let the favorite Spice Perfection get away with a very easy lead. And when a horse like Spice Perfection is allowed to go 49 to the half, 114 for 6 furlongs, you're not going to catch her. Our Supernova did well to dig in and finish third. She basically prompted the pace 3 wide. If she runs this race, she's probably going to win. If she runs her race 2 starts back in the New York Stallion Series, a rallying 85 Beyer performance going 7 furlongs, she's probably going to win. But I think it's fair to ask whether you believe she is going to be as effective at 9 furlongs as she is around 1 turn. And that's enough of a question for me where I think she's the horse to beat. I have to use her in multiple race wagers. Maybe I'd try to beat her at a short price because I do think 1 1/8 is a bit of an unknown. The number 6 is Mrs. Orb, and she's won her last 3 races, last time out in a short field against open non-winners of one other than foes. They turn to the stretch for Mrs. Orb, and she's just in behind the pace. She angles out to the 4 path, and I like the way she ran down this 2-5 favorite. She's reaching out for ground. She is bred, I think, to get 1 1/8, being by Kentucky Derby winner Orb. Mike Maselli is just having a really wonderful year. He is an underrated trainer, clicking at about 27% in 2019. And Mrs. Orb just looks like the kind of filly that has found herself, winning again 4 of her last 5 starts on various surfaces. There should be some pace for her to attack in this race. I think that was a good effort, albeit only against a few foes. Cartwheel is the number 7. Timeform US has Cartwheel on the lead. I think Cartwheel is going to sit in here. Last time out, it was a bit of a disappointing performance for Cartwheel, who has had trouble getting through her state-bred non-winners or 2 other then. We turn into the stretch, and Cartwheel made the lead this day, and she's clear turning into the stretch. She's just not going to be able to hold off Maiden Beauty, who is a big price and runs her over in the stretch. Perhaps stretching back out to 1 1/8 will work for Cartwheel, although she chased out of orbit in vain that day. I wonder if this distance coupled with this class scenario works against Cartwheel, but she could have a say in the outcome because if she goes out there and pushes out of orbit this time around, it could set things up for the late runners. I think our Supernova is the horse to beat. I don't want to play her at a very, very short price. So my top pick in this race is going to be the 6, Mrs. Orb. I still believe she has a bit of upside potential. I like the way she finished off that race last time out, running right by the odds-on favorite. I think she deserves an opportunity at 1 1/8 against stakes competition. I think the price will be right as well. So Mrs. Orb, my top selection in the Bay Ridge, the feature race at Aqueduct on Sunday, which has an approximate post time of 3:46 Eastern. Best of luck.